eyebrows when I totally did not need to be doing that. I did not need to be waxing my eyebrows, okay? But, you know, you got to be careful sometimes because, you know, my dad, and again, I'm not like blaming or anything, but again, this is where we get the open effect. Oh boy, this is going to be really pretty. Oh well, sorry guys. I got it. Okay. So remember, I'm not wearing glasses. This is why this is such a mess. I'm telling you, I'm teaching you what the procedure was. Wow, this is so weird with no glasses on. But again, except for that lash, we're kind of getting there. I'm kind of getting there. This is really a mess and a half, but it really does look hanging, doesn't it? But dudes, I'm not wearing glasses. Give me a break. I know I've said that 100 times. So then there was other drag cocktail parties that were less about, oh, look at the entertaining drag queen, but more about what the fuck. These like late night after hours parties were really pretty weird. First of all, there was usually like not a lot of people at them, which was like doubly weird because you're there thinking it's a party. And guess what? It's a few people hanging around a pool of a house that it doesn't even look like it's their house. In fact, I often wondered, are we squatting in nice outfits? So one time, I go to one of those cocktail parties, the after hours, whatever ones, not the entertaining drag queen ones. And oh, look at the cute drag queen. Oh my God, you guys. And in this one particular occasion, I was with Constance Cooper, who is a famous drag queen and was also a Robert Mapplethorpe model. He was the one, if you've ever seen Robert Mapplethorpe pictures, with the one with the black guy and then kind of like the albino looking guy. That is Constance, was Constance at that time, and is still Constance because she's still kicking. Love you, Constance. So this was one of those weird ones where you didn't know like if it was like this person's house or what the fucking deal was. Oh boy, we really screwed up that one. So what do? Put more liner. So it's weird. There's hardly anybody there. And of course, that is an excuse for Sean to get crazy, especially when there weren't very many people around, because more fun could be had. Okay, we're going to fix that. Don't worry. Okay, we're getting there, you guys. We're getting there. You don't want to drop that. Oh my God, that's my liquid eyeliner. We don't want to drop that shit. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to, what part did I say? This is a little bit too thick for my taste. There. Okay, now, this one's good. Pretty true to form. This one needs a little more eyeliner. Liquid eyeliner. Do we all know that from Female Trouble? She was actually substance misusing liquid eyeliner. Okay, so we want, oh my God, you guys, with no glasses, this is so fucking hysterical. I just want a little bit more thickness on that one. This is really more amusing than anything else because, like I said, I'm doing this shit with no glasses on. So I hope you all are having fun. So at this particular weirdo after hours, whatever it was, I'll just leave it like that. There was an empty pool. So, of course, Constance and Sean decided to play around and get kooky and get in the pool. Now, Sean was known for being scantily clad. Okay, so, which meant that I sometimes just wore a G-string. Plus, my dresses, such as they were, if you can call them dresses, were, where did that go? Were, actually, screw it, let's just use a brush. What was I saying? I forget, fuck it. I open that just a little bit more. Oh, all of my dresses, I would always, don't ask me why, it's just so stupid. I had good legs, but who cares? I would go have them slit. So let's say I always got dresses that were slit up the sides, but it wasn't high enough for Sean. Sean had just, in fact, that's why Alexis Arquette, our thing was every time he saw me, he would say, "Are you commando?" And of course he knew I wasn't, but I always said yes. And he would, of course, reach under my dress to test, and then he would tease me about not being commando. But he knew I always said that. So plus I couldn't be commando because my dresses, like I said, were always slit up so high that if I went commando, all my junk would be hanging out. But back to the after party. So Constance and I get in this empty pool. And she's, of course, the one with the camera. Great. So we're playing around in the empty pool. And, boy, you guys with no glasses. This is really funny. So we're seeing messy Sean here. So as I'm climbing out of the pool, thank you, Constance, she grabs a picture of me climbing up the pool ladder. Now, like I said, Sean was not crazy about undergarments, or at least not much of them. Point being, as I'm climbing up the ladder, Constance decides, oh, good Christ, well, that's good enough, to grab a picture, little rascal. So, long story longer, I have a picture out there somewhere of me with my junk hanging out of a G-string. She was angled in such a way that she caught my junk coming out of my panties. And God knows where that is now. I mean, honest to God. Okay, now I should have done this before I did anything. And oh well. Oh well. Anyway, I'm going to do it anyway. So, as I mentioned before, oh boy, this is going to be a bitch, man. I have to go over it with, well, we'll see. Maybe I can fix some of this shit. So, let's see. Well, yeah, this is going to be a bitch because I have to put wax now, which I should have done first. But this is what it is. It's mistakes and all, and oversights and all that good stuff. Okay, so like I said, somewhere, just like I told you the other day about my drag tutorial that is floating around somewhere. I don't know where or what. Um, the one that I was telling you about the other day. This picture, I believe, is floating around too, with my junk hanging out of my G-string in a white satin dress slit up to my hips. So of course you see my junk, and you also see lots of other junk. Excuse me. I don't have a proper makeup table. Okay, now let's see if we can tackle this backwards mess of putting this on. Now, like I said, I used to melt wax, theatrical wax, and I would put it on like this, picking it off like this, and I would put a sealant over it because what I wanted was this bone thin look. So we're doing this ass backwards now. First of all, I go against the grain because the reason I use the theatrical wax is because I don't like these little hairliney things that show when you do it this way. But whatever, if I did the theatrical wax, which I wouldn't have here anyway, we'd be here for a very long time, trust me. So let's just make sure that this is a little bit down so that I can go over it. Okay, now we want to take that off the sponge because it's my only sponge. Now, I'm going to go, I don't have Derma Blend, which is what I used to use. I know you guys, it's a total mess, but gives you the idea. Derma Blend, as I mentioned, is something I used to use all here. It is meant for scars. It's like a very kind of almost waxy, thick foundation that has sort of browns and maybe even some greens and oranges to cut, you know. My thing was I don't want to have a 5 o'clock shadow at 2 in the morning. It's really gross. So I'll show you in a second. I'm going to have to approximate the Derma Blend with that glitter that I showed you, this one. Because otherwise you don't get the effect of, whatever, the gold. Okay, so now normally, again, this is not all the way I used to do it, but we're just approximating here. And I'm really not crazy about liquid foundation. I mentioned that to you before. Like I said, a lot of this is stuff that I would never do again, but oh well. Now, what that's covering up, I will go over with glitter. So now once you powder this, again, if it was wax, it's literally invisible. This is, yeah, it's making it go away, but actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go over it with my, where is it? It's this. Okay, let's just go over with this. Fuck it. I'm sorry for the language. But